Hi, I'm Jeannie, a health and wellness specialist. In this video, we'll be doing a short workout to help you relieve and manage pain to allow you to move freely and easily. So we're going to start with a little body scan. One of the things about pain is we're often not aware of where we're holding tension in the body. So we're going to start lying on our back and just close our eyes for a moment. And if it's comfortable for you to have your legs straight, then go ahead and straighten your legs. If not, you can always do this with your knees bent. And we're just going to start at our feet. And just in your mind, you're going to run through all the parts of your body, so working from the feet up, and just sort of getting a sense of them and allowing them to relax. So sometimes we're not aware that maybe we're clenching sort of leg muscles or even bracing in our stomach, or our shoulders are tense. So it's a really good exercise when you're beginning to deal with pain and ways to relieve it, that we start to recognize when we're actually holding tension in the body. So start with the feet and just sort of wiggle your toes and just let them just sort of flop to the side and relax. And then start to work your way up through your shins, through your knees, into the thigh bones. And really let the thigh bones just roll out to the side. And then coming through to the hips, the pelvis, and the tummy. Just allow your tummy to be really soft. You should feel your breath just moving and feeling the belly rise and fall with your breath. Then coming through to your rib cage. Just imagine the ribs could be really soft and heavy into the floor. Coming up to the shoulders. There's a place where we often hold tension. It can cause a lot of pain around the head, neck, shoulders. So how do your shoulders feel? Do they feel as though they're lifted off the floor? Or can you let them really soften and drop? So is there any tension in those shoulders? And then from the shoulders, just try and travel down the arm bones. So the top of the arm, and let the elbows feel heavy. The lower arm, and then just your hands. Just give your fingers a little wiggle. Check you're not clenching. Any tension in the hands and wrists. And if you come back to the neck, just allow the throat to be soft. Maybe just roll the head a little bit from side to side. Just check. Don't go too far. Just gently rock the head. And then let your head rest right in the center. See if you can soften the jaw. The jaw is a place that we often clench, especially when we've been in pain. So see if you can allow the jaw to just be soft. And allow your tongue to rest on the roof of your mouth. And just feel the weight of your head. So feel how heavy the back of your head is. And so we've got a good idea now, as we've traveled through the whole body, of whether you were holding any tension. And even now, just notice if there's still some areas that you may still be trying to hold tension on, and that's okay. That's normal when you're first starting out. Now from there, we're going to start to do a little bit of movement, so some pain relieving movement. So we're going to just slowly bring the legs back in until your knees are bent and you're kind of hip distance apart. And we're going to start to move. We said earlier that the shoulders are often a place where we harbor a lot of tension. We can get a lot of neck pain. So we're going to just bring the arms up off the floor, and your palms are facing each other. And you want to feel quite heavy through the shoulders. So you don't want to be holding your arms up. You want to feel that you're quite heavy and relaxed through here. So we're going to do something called a shoulder glide. So we'll do one arm at a time. It's going to help relieve tension around the upper back and shoulders. So you're going to inhale and feel as though one shoulder blade is gliding off the floor. So you're just inhaling as you come up, and your shoulder will lift off the floor. But as you exhale, it's really lovely because you're going to feel the weight of the arm almost coming back down. So don't let it just drop to the floor. You're kind of gliding it back down. And then we'll do the other one. We're going to inhale, feel the shoulder blade lift. Exhaling, feel that nice release. So what we're doing is we've got a short contraction as we lift the muscle, but a lovely long relaxation as the muscle comes back down. So we inhale up, exhale, release. And each time you do this, see if you can feel the arms feel a little bit heavier each time. Do one more on this side. And then what's really nice to do is to do both arms together. So you inhale both arms up like you're reaching forward to hug somebody. You're reaching up. And then exhaling, really feel that heaviness. So I'm going to open up my upper back. So if you have the head, neck, shoulder pain, those upper back muscles are going to be feeling quite tight. Here we're teaching them that they can contract so they can work, but you can also relax them. And just do two more. So inhaling up, exhaling, feel that nice heaviness. And last one, inhale. And exhale, nice and heavy across the shoulders. Now feel the weight of the shoulders. So turn the palms to face the feet and then slowly lower the arms down, keeping that sense of heaviness across the upper back. Now once your arms are resting back on the floor, we're going to turn our attention to our lower body. So one area where we tend to get a lot of pain, lower back pain, is a big cause of tension around the lumbar spine. So we're going to try and do an exercise where we're going to lift the legs off the floor, but our aim is to keep the lower back, so this area, as quiet as possible. So we're going to feel the weight of our pelvis. You want to just place your hands on your pelvis and get a sense of where your pelvis is sitting at the moment. Now as you exhale, we're going to try and start to peel the heel off the floor and see if you can start to lift that leg up into a knee roll position. And then we're going to lower it back down. Okay, so what we're trying to do is as we lift the legs, we're trying to keep the lower back tension free. So what can happen is when we try and lift the leg, often what happens is if we're tight here, we'll start to arch the back. And obviously that's going to put more pain and tension into the lower back. So your job is to really feel so heavy in the pelvis that when your knee rolls in, this part of your spine stays nice and quiet. Okay, so it's a nice gentle rolling action of the thigh bone into the pelvis, just one leg at a time. Really feel that you can use the out breath, because as you exhale, that will make you feel heavier and will relax your muscles. Let's just do one more each side. You may find that initially when you're doing this, the pelvis twists and you find it quite challenging to keep that stability, and that's okay. You just got to keep coming back to that heaviness of the pelvis, and the stronger you get, that twisting won't happen. And then back down. Okay, so we've established a little bit of stability and calmness through the lumbar spine. We're going to turn over and we're going to come up onto all fours. So the easiest way to move, especially if you've been in pain, is to roll to the side, come into a side lying position, and then use your hand to help you come up to a seated position. Then we can swing our legs around and come on to all fours. Have your hands under your shoulders and your knees hip distance apart. We're going to do a hip softening exercise. So we're going to try and keep that lumbar spine nice and long and quiet, just like we did a second ago. And you're going to think about softening your hips to move backwards. Now, if you've got any knee pain, obviously go as far as your knees are happy to go. And then you're going to feel the weight going through your legs to help lift you back up. Okay, so we're trying our very best to keep our lower back nice and long, just softening at the hips, and then coming forward. So what we're trying not to do is flex the spine as we go back. You're trying to keep the lumbar spine nice and quiet. Really think about moving from the hips. So try not to push with the arms. The arms are quite soft. And this is a really functional exercise because it's all about getting in and out of chairs, climbing stairs, all those actions that we move our hips and our knees in every day. One more time. Softening the hips, settling into the pelvis, keeping the lower back nice and quiet. Now from there, we're going to do the opposite. We are going to do some flexion. So we're going to do a cat exercise. So from here, instead of keeping my lower back long, I'm going to try and round the pelvis and roll through my spine into a cat. And then I'm going to uncurl the tail and come back out. So you're rounding, flexing the spine, and then uncurling. So some of the things that could go wrong with this one, we sometimes try and push too hard into the arms. So you end up doing a really pushy cat. And I want you to keep those arms nice and heavy and soft so you don't put that tension back into the shoulders and the neck, which can be a source of pain. So everything is kind of soft and flowing, no pushing. Just feel the parts of your spine are able to move without you trying too hard. Now, if you have a lower back ache and tension, a really nice thing to add on to the end of this is to go into a cat, and then we add back in our hip softener. So we start to move backwards, and that gives us a lovely stretch through the lower back. Then using the legs to help lift you back up and uncurl. Then moving backwards. Coming forwards. Let's just do 2 more so we give our backs a really nice lengthen. Coming all the way back up and uncurling. So we're finishing this workout in standing because much of our day is spent standing up and in an upright position, and it's often a cause of many people's pain whenever they have to stand for any length of time or walk. So it's really useful to just get a sense of where we are in space when we're standing. So get a sense of your feet on the ground and just feel that you're evenly balanced. So when we're standing, we don't really want to be sort of leaning and bending one leg. We want to be even on the left and the right. So that's going to help really balance your body. So the other thing that can happen is we lock our knees. So from your feet, just make sure that you're not locking back those knees because that alone puts a lot of pressure on your lower back. So soften the knees. So you've got soft feet, soft knees. And then just feel that the spine is able to lengthen upwards from the feet. So it's almost like you're growing from the feet up. And we're just going to stand here. I kind of like to feel as though I've got a dinosaur tail. So if you suddenly grew a big tail and it was hanging down the back of your body and hanging out on the floor, feel that weightiness right through the back of the pelvis. And that will just help give you that nice openness through the front of the spine. And then we're just going to finish with some nice deep breaths in this lovely standing posture. So keep the knees nice and soft, keep your dinosaur tail nice and heavy, and we're going to take a nice deep breath in. So you're going to inhale through the nose, feel the breath coming down the spine. And then when you exhale, it's really important that you don't let the breath sort of collapse you. So often we end up sort of in this slouch position, and that's going to put pressure through the spine again. So use the out breath to actually grow taller. And that's really important then the ribs are not crashing down onto your pelvis. So 2 more breaths to finish. Nice inhale, keeping everything nice and soft. Exhaling, we keep the space between the ribs and the pelvis. So no collapsing here. And one more time, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling, feeling tall, feeling that weightiness through the tail. And that will teach us, that will help us get that really good standing posture for our daily life and activities. Thank you for watching. You can find more health and wellness tips on my social media channels.